All right. Hi, everybody. So it was really nice to wake up and see MV playing some APBA PC baseball. I hope he'll do more in the future with Robbie not really doing a lot of broadcasting right now. I'm the only one doing the game, and there's a lot to it, and I've done a lot of videos on it, so or a lot of games with it, whatever. But I figured MV was having a bit of trouble finding like where to find players and stuff. So this is gonna be a real super quick. Hey, Nathaniel, good to see you. This is gonna be a really quick, kind of very surface kind of tutorial. I've done more in-depth stuff that you can look at on my channel, but I was watching MV. I caught it after the game, and I'm like, oh no, just press this. You got the wrong program. So kind of just quickly going over what to do in each module. That's pretty much it. That's why it's going to be super, super quick. Hey, Carlos, how are you doing today? Carlos Yaz. Also, Nathaniel. Guys here at the ballpark. Yeah, I just felt really badly for MV. So I know he bought the game like 6 months ago or something and really didn't do a lot with it. Loves the game, but yeah, so I thought I would just show him around a little bit. And it's a fun game, guys. You can manage in this game, or you can choose just to be a spectator, what have you. It's really, really deep. So, hey, happy holidays to you, Samuel. Samuel Smith here at the, well, not really a ballpark here, but welcome in, Samuel. Good to see you. And a happy holidays, holiday, whatever to you. Yeah, it's Labor Day. So I don't know about where you guys live, but where I live, it's going to be brutally hot until Friday, like ridiculously hot here, and high humidity, and already feeling it here at what's 10:37 a.m. So if you're part of this big, big heat dome, just be careful. All right, so MV was wanting to show people like rosters and things like that. So I want to show them. Yeah, it's insane, isn't it? So MV was clicking around in League Manager, and then he was clicking around in Stat Master, but it was the last one, and it's that he needed to go to. So MV, if you catch this later, or whenever, or if you happen to sneak in here now, I know it's it's like just 2:38 p.m. In the United Kingdom. You want to go to Advanced Draft. That's where you want it to be, MV. That's the third. That's the other program, and so when you open, you can like. So what it will do is if you go to Select, it will just like a lot of Windows programs, right? Like this, it will remember like the last 5 leagues that you worked with, right? So you wanted to look at like players on a roster. So you would just either select that, or just either do that or load data disk. And load data disk will do all kinds of stuff here. You can go to all the seasons that you have, um, and then any that you've created, because you can also use StatMaster to create all kinds of what ifs. So again, this would be something if you had every season for it, you could do Howie Shanks in this. You definitely, you can do things like our, McGreevy. You could do season projects, recreate all-star games, just like you can in Action PC and Out of the Park Baseball. Except this, like Action PC Baseball, you actually have to have the seasons. All right. So anyhow, then to look at rosters, we're just going to do that part. Double click on the organization. There are the teams, which I also noticed in MV's his first stream between I think it was Phillies, yeah, Phillies Dodgers, because he has this great, great image of Ebbets Field, and I'm guessing he probably just bought it from APBA because I've never seen it before. And then all you do, MV or anybody watching, is just double click on the team itself, and there it is. There's what you were looking for, MV. There's the rosters, so players, position players, and then the pitchers are on the other side. And then here's their ratings. This is for the computer game, and the computer game is based on the APBA Master game. If you want to actually see their cards for the Cards and Dice game, again, just right click, go to View Card, and there it is. And if you have the APBA Master game, you could conceivably just play it using these cards, right? Roll the dice, boom, and there you go. You could. I'm pretty sure. Well, actually, you wouldn't need to. I guess with digital. Yeah, digital diamond baseball. So you could use this in conjunction with digital diamond baseball if you don't have, or you don't feel like putting out everything. Right there, it is. Right. So that's that. Also, with this is where you can trade players, you can transfer them, you can edit them. So if we go in here, right, you can edit names, you can edit batting stats, all kinds of stuff that you can do with advanced draft. So I know it's counterintuitive to think about advanced draft to look at to look at rosters, but there you go, there you have it. Okay, um, and just like in Action PC Baseball, when you click like up here in headings, everything is sortable. As far as, or down here, I should say, they're sortable. So you want to see who has the best arm in a particular league, in outfield, let's say. Well, in this one, Roberto Clemente, what have you. You can also look at like injury, or yeah, you can look at injury status. Um, you can look at lineups, right? So here's lineups, but not only lineups, but you're going to look at how they're going to do platoon. Like, well, there you can just see on the screen. I'm not going to get into a lot of detail because there's a lot more to this game I haven't covered. But no, this is APBA for Windows, but Samuel, this runs on modern systems. It's available from APBA sites. So this is the one, Broadcast Blast. So that's what it is, and they've added a lot into 5.75. So, and again, one of the things that I always really that I love about this game is, right, you can get help on just lineup report, right, and consult the glossaries for everything. Um, it's just, this game has a great help system. So, and you can see there's the primary lineup, and then versus lefties versus righties. They're set. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. So a lot going on here. And again, you can just look, so in other words, you can look up here at their roster, but you're not getting everything. So again, this is an all-time great Red Sox. Yeah, file. I'm sorry, I'm still half out of it. Right, and then again, you can kind of look at the pitching, and then you can see their rating, like what's like they're moved first, things like that. Bulk rating, wild pitch, durability, and so on and so on and so on. And then down here for hitters, steal. Now you're going to see a letter and a number. So again, you could just go to the help, and it will explain, because these are APBA ratings, what type of hitters they are. Whether they're pull hitters, what have you. And PL2 and a PL1 is completely different from one another. They're completely different, I should say. And then see even more. You can get out here, look at their stats, and these are historical stats, as opposed to like that's, so this isn't like during this replay that I'm doing. These are stats for them. When you want to look at stats during a replay, that's where you use the encyclopedia, right? Just move down further. Again, there's batting, and we can probably look this up to see what years I can't remember. But really nice, really nice. And there you can see too. So up here you have the more traditional stats, right? I keep going down. Now I'm picking up again more stats, like runs created per game, and attempted steals, and then finally you get kind of, defensive stats, range, total chances per game. And again, some of these stats may or may, you may or may not find helpful. Okay. So still staying with these Boston Red Sox here for a minute. I have Roberto Clemente. Down here, by the way, I should say in this window, down here is the player pool for this entire league. So right now up here, I'm just looking at the Red Sox, just the Red Sox. But down here is the entire player pool. And we'll start back with Hank Aaron. Again, scroll through this. Any player down here, as you're going through here, and if you see one in red, all that means is that's the players on this particular team that you're looking at. So, for instance, there's Wade Boggs. All right, but you can look at, you just double click on Frank and get kind of encapsulate here what Frank Balling, whoever he's playing for, right? So just a number of ways that you can really work with this excellent baseball program. It's been a hard day's night. Oh my God, yes it does, and it counts, and it has been. How you doing, Robert? How you doing? I took the night off from baseball last night completely, so sorry I didn't make your broadcast. I didn't do a broadcast either. I did one yesterday, one Shanks game, and then that's it. So I hope you're doing well today. Let me see what else. Again, there. So this is showing injury. So Andres Galarraga, for instance, he's out for 25 days. And Felipe Lewis just out for a day. So nobody in the DL, but 2 in the injured list. And so for other things that you want to do reports, that's where you're going to get into like things like, that's where you're going to get into your encyclopedia and stuff. And this really, really does detailed reports. Again, just like Out of the Park Baseball and Action PC Baseball. This is their AIM status. AIM in this program means Advanced Injury Management. And it's a really important component of the game because depending upon, and there are thousands of AI managers available for this game, literally thousands. It would depend on, the era that you're playing, what manager you want to use, and everything. And because there's so many, there's never any need to program the AI. There's a great site called Digital Skybox. I've mentioned it before on the site. You should be able to find it in one of my deeper APBA tutorials. Oh, I can still do that, Robert. And if you still have the game, an older version of the game, you can still do that because APBA, which is really cool when they released 5.75, included a migration tool to be able to move your stuff. So what I do is I run that on a virtual machine, although I've already done all the seasons. So if you do have it, or you can get a hold of it, which there are ways to do it, is all I'll say. Be creative in your internet searches. I mean, I've had the game for ages, so I didn't have to take this. But what I did is I bought a PC because the problem is the Fan Park Encyclopedia is no longer available. Okay, I haven't had it for years. It's great. And those seasons work in this. Exactly. And then you can create your own. So what I did is, because it has a 16-bit installer, so 16-bit installers will not run on a modern operating system. It just won't. So you have to run a virtual machine inside your PC, and then you're actually golden. So what I did was I just migrated. I didn't get back to the 19th century yet, except for 2 seasons, but everything else from I think 1900 to 1997. And then once you have all those imported, you don't need to use that virtual machine anymore, and then you use the migration tool, and then once you're in Baseball for Windows, this version 5.75, in here in Advanced Draft, this is where you can create anything you can imagine. You can imagine it at the major league level. You can create it by drafting play. You can hold a fantasy draft. If whatever you can do in Action PC Baseball, you can do in this, except there's one thing. that you cannot do, and that's create fictional players. And I'm not interested in that anyhow. So you can't create fictional players in this thing, um, but you pretty much do everything else. It's deep. I know a lot of people. Again, this is one of those things where I've never seen somebody who plays Strat PC baseball also play this, or vice versa. So, um, I tried them both, and I love this one, so much more. So MV, that's pretty much it. And I was, kind of just padding this out for a little bit to see if you stopped in, but you're a smart guy, so I think you got it. Well, they do and they don't. I'll say this, you know, this, and you've seen games on here. I'm sure you've probably popped by a few times and heard Ernie call some games. The game actually looks nicer. Um, I, I think, from an app, I think this looks cleaner. I mean, than Strat PC. That's just, my opinion. My opinion, certainly. Um, so, of course, Windows resizable, whatever. It's really fun. So even just right here, just this set, I could just dump all these guys into a draft pool and do a draft, and you can set the AI for each club to draft how it's going to draft. Take a look at. Oh well, you know what? Robert's here, so let's see if we can find these Mets. This is a different. There they are. Different sort of file, all-time greats file, in that franchises that had moved, right? So long-time franchises like St. Louis Browns and the Baltimore Orioles each have their own all-time great teams. Um, Brooklyn Dodgers have their own. LA Dodgers have their own. New York Giants have their own. San Francisco Giants have their own. I like that. Never seen that before. So this is something that actually I, sort of did and everything. So here are the Mets. Again, this is only up to 1997, so there's certain, some players you're not going to see, but it's all-time greats. Um, and all this was done, through the encyclopedia import. But then, once you have all the seasons in, you don't even need the encyclopedia import anymore. It's here and ready to rock. So MV, if you catch that later, this is how you do it. You just open the data disk, and then, right, one more time, boom, boom, boom. Right, click on the organization, so see there's 32 teams in this. Double click, and there you go. I think you renamed your teams. So again, you have to rename teams in this thing. The only time it will automatically assign team names is when when it's a defunct organization, and then it will do it. But otherwise, when you go in, when you're creating teams, you have to actually do like a Control R to rename. I don't want to, right? So that's that. The encyclopedia is for keeping track of things during a replay, and League Manager, and it doesn't let you use one module without closing out of the other, which is nice, and they all talk to one another in that respect. So when I open this, I don't have an organization listed, but I just go back to the one there, and normally this is going to be open. So here it is. This is the thing in Action PC, Action PC Baseball, and you get your starting pitchers for the day. Now, caveat to this is you will see this only if it's like, in other words, you'll see if it's an encyclopedia import, you're not going to see the starting pitchers until you actually get into selecting your manager and stuff like that. And up here is where you can see all these menu choices. Up here is where you're sending advanced injury management rules. You're doing standings. You're doing all kinds of reports. Commissioners. There's a commissioner file. So as we were doing in the Shanks League, this commissioner file. This is one that you send out to other players, or what have you. So, and then those are played, sent back to the commissioner. In that case, it would be Steve Tate. So, but I think one of the big things about this one is certainly the Ernie Harwell. It's not just merely Ernie reading a narration. It's actually AI. I mean, it's 1995, and of course, AI is the big thing nowadays. But this was first. The managers are AI. Even the crowd is reactive, and there was nothing like this. Even in old time baseball, there was a kind of reactivity with the crowd, but not, yeah. And Mel Allen and Kurt Gowdy, they are acting as narrators in that. But in this game, they're actually will remember game situations, and if somebody's on a multi-game hitting streak, Ernie Harwell will remember that. But that's pretty much it. I'm not going to do a game on here. I just wanted to do this quick thing for MV, and yeah, that's it. So I don't know if Robert has some. I guess if you're doing some Labor Day baseball this evening, Robert, let us know. So I would say Stratomatic looks far more DOS. I don't have it anymore. You guys know why. But this is definitely a Windows application. And again, the best. Um, I mean, here's the help system. And, I would say if anything, this more like looks more like earlier days of Windows. But Strat definitely has that DOS feel. And, you can always check out ID Jester's epic rant back in the day about Stratomatic baseball. So Robert says, "Yep." I said only Stratomatic would update their game to today's graphics and such. It would so much better. It would. Yeah. Well, for me, why does this thing always hit record? This is so stupid. For me, what they need to really fix is customer service. And for cards and dice guys, quit charging for the outlier players. People buy a season and they should get every player in that season. Everybody else does it. Inside Pitch does it. APBA does it. My understanding is Payoff Pitch does it. So that's in the cards and dice realm. Digitally, however, curiously with Strat PC, if you buy a season, you got the season. So it's weird. Yep, thank you. You're absolutely right, Robert. I mean, I know I'm preaching to the choir here. I don't get them and the price of their seasons, but again, I don't want to get into. I mean, my feelings about the Strat, especially the PC game, because let me be clear, the Strat game, and I mean the cards and dice game, is excellent, right? It's been around for 72 years, or yeah, 62 years, and APA's been around for 72. Obviously, both of these game systems are doing something right. Um, I mean, APA, there's so many APA clones out there because APA, unlike Strat, didn't copyright their formulas, so people were able to revert to engineering. But whatever, these games must be doing something right. And we wouldn't have, other games today like Status Pro, Inside Pitch, Payoff Pitch, whatever, without these two pioneering cards and dice games. I think that if you compare the interfaces of the two, I think this one's also easier to use because it's modular. And so if I have this open, this OFAS 4, and if I made any changes, which I haven't, right, I could close it. But then if I bring up StatMaster, right, and then I just go to this, and if I would have made any changes, there we go. Here's where you see, this is where you do all these reports and everything. So I know it's like, okay, StatMaster, got to go to this. And I can just go to Standard Reports, and just click OK. And then from here, start doing my reports or what I want to do for a game. Again, and it won't let me open League Manager while this is open. So you can't, well, this time it did, which I'm kind of surprised. Oh, because I'm in StatMaster, that's why. And you see what it did here. It actually, right? But it won't let me go into Advanced Draft. Is this the one I want? Yep. So if I would try, oh, geez, it won't let me do this. I've got to close this program because if I'm making changes, it's going to affect this. So I kind of like that. And that's it. So MV, I hope you catch this. And I hope, yeah, thanks for stopping in, guys. Really, really appreciate it. And I would jump into a game, but I want to keep this as something that MV will watch. So MV, just remember, League Manager is where you do everything where you're setting up for the replay, the project. Apart from working at the player level. Apart from working at the player level, that's probably the easiest thing to remember. Advanced draft is working with players and teams, however you want to set up leagues or whatever, what ifs, season replays, what have you. Statmaster tracks stats during during a replay is the best way to look at that. So those are the three main modules. The fourth one is the migration tool, which that's only for this one. That's really only for those of us that have had the game from and still have it from back in the day. This allows us to still do encyclopedia imports, and then boom, 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 boom. So officially, support for the encyclopedia or import was taken out of the game, but in a nod to those of us who have been playing the game, I thought this was great. I don't imagine Stratomatic ever doing something like this if they had that type of function. So this was really great on on APBA's part to give this to us. Yeah. And that being said, there are ways to find the encyclopedia out there, and then just do a virtual machine, and you can have a lot of fun that way. Hey, there's Cousin Ken. You're welcome, Nathaniel. How are you doing, cousin? Hopefully you got my post last night I put on on YouTube. I needed a break, so ended up watching the Fellowship of the Ring last night actually. So I was in a kind of Tolkien mood and all that. So yeah, that's about it. I know I was talking about doing some 19th century baseball last night, but I was like, and at the same time that that I would have broadcast, David Baseball Demos was on, and I didn't want to sort of go up against him because he doesn't stream as often as the rest of us. So Robert's on every night. I'm on almost every night. MV's on quite a bit. Dwayne Martz every day. So David maybe 2-3 times a week. So I definitely, not that I can pull any of Dave. It's not. I just that way I can go in when I can or whatever. And I'm like, David's doing this, and I'm just gonna take a break tonight. So yeah. Speaking of 19th century, so yeah. So yeah, didn't forget last night. But I realized now as you're coming in that you probably don't get those Facebook posts. So you started a 6-team league with 19th century teams on Out Park Baseball. Wow. Okay, color me shocked, color me amazed, and color me happy. I think you'll have fun with it. I'm guessing if you're not comfortable with doing some certain things, working with ballparks or whatever, let me know. Be glad to help you. And Michael's around too. You can ask him questions. He's in the Discord. As far as Out of the Park Baseball, he's really excellent. So wow, cousin, that is really cool. I hope you have fun with it. I know you love to roll dice, but hope you have fun with it. So, all right, guys. I guess there's any other questions or anything. I'm gonna go off. Boom. I might come back with a game later of something. I have no idea what. Might even be this. Carlos says, well, I can show you how to fix that, Ken. That's pretty simple. So Carlos Yaz is into June, his 1903 replay in Out of the Park Baseball. Wow. So APBA Go is, well, APBA Go is kind of interesting. We'll bring this up here for a second, show it to you guys. So APBA Go is a weird sort of animal. So here it is. So what they're doing here is they're taking, according to the interview that Dave Gardner and Ron Juckett did with John Gerson of APBA, is they want this to eventually be kind of like, in John's words, kind of like the central hub, if you will, of all things APBA. So the APBA Go game, I really don't want to sign up for free. I've done this before. Let me see if it still has. No, it doesn't. Bah. All right, just for shits and giggles. Um, nah. So the game itself. Oh, let's watch this. Here we go. Start by creating an account. There's Josh Gibson. Yeah, so I have to stop this every once in a while in case I get a copyright strike. So you're just signing up. This is based on the APBA basic rules. So it's not as robust in a lot of ways as Baseball for Windows, which I think they're just not going to be developing anymore, which is kind of sad. Try to figure out here about 20 seconds, and then we'll stop it again. So right here, let's see if we can get out of that, right? So yeah, Ken, you're absolutely right. Both Samuel and you are right. No bells and whistles in this thing. APBA Go is good for online play against two buds without going deep. Yep, absolutely. So you're going to select a team. Yep, there we go. Pretty good keyboard there, I guess. And you're going to play ball. So you can play against the PC. Solitaire mode, of course, is you kind of like managing both teams. You can challenge somebody out there, open challenge, tournaments. And we'll talk about seasons in a minute. Pretty good bass going on there, yeah. La da 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 da. So it doesn't have as many choices as Baseball for Windows. It's not even close. But again, it's not the same product. Not the same product. Let's keep rocking here, man. All right. So again, as you guys said, let's keep things simple. Leave them as they are. And anyhow, and on and on and on. Let's move on here. Let's pick up to. We'll get to the game screen that we can talk about. There it is. All right. So definitely no bells and whistles. You get it now, unless they've changed it. When I tried this game a couple years ago, you had one ballpark, all right, and that was Great American in Cincinnati. Managing options really great. So in Baseball for Windows, there's actually two columns of management choices here. There's just the one because it's APBA basic, but again, there's nothing wrong with that with the basic game at all. Excellent, but I prefer the master game because it's now you're taking more. Now the pitcher is more taken into account. Whatever. I'm not going to get into it. You guys are more versed in. I haven't played APBA cards and dice in 1,000 years, but again, has all there's the cards, just the same as you can see them in Baseball for Windows. Different products altogether. And there's no Ernie Harwell in this play. There's no narrator in this game. Got to get some counterpoint going here. Rocking on some funk, right? Now, this should look kind of familiar. So you can definitely see in this game that there's some influence, obviously, from the older game. Rock on, APBA. Look at you. It's sort of like Booker T and the MGs, man, right? The music they have going on here. Pretty nice. So there you go. Again, you just have 4 options when you're managing. Boom, boom, boom. That's it. So, for this. Yeah, baby. So, now, If you are a person that likes to have it all, you can. It's 20, and this, I mean, it's not bad. If you play it a lot, for $22 a month, you get access to every season in baseball history on APBA. And it is great, definitely great for virtual tournaments. It does a lot of good things. Um, the pricing is a little kind of wacky, but I think it's a pretty good app. I don't know if does Strat have something like APBA. I don't know. I think the better bargain, in terms of just getting some stuff on the go and playing, not necessarily online, although I think you can. I have to fire up my Android and see, is Out of the Park Go. It's free, comes with 3 seasons, and if you want everything from 1901 to today, it costs you $20. So that's the bargain, and that's out there. But yeah, it's this is good, and again, there's a lot more management choices. I think Out of the Park goes better for purely digital. But yeah, APBA I think is a good app. But $22 a month is a bit, that can be a bit steep. I would say get into it. I mean, with that, if you want to buy everything or rent everything, whatever, if you play it a lot, you've got it. You've got the APA basic game. I guess they're going to be implementing the advanced game at some point. You can buy individual teams for about $2. Yeah, so it's $22 a month if you want access to every player every season in baseball history. It's $22 a month for APBA. That might have gone up or down. I tried this back in 2020, I think, and at that time it was 20 or $22 a month, not a year, a month, to get. And I can understand. I mean, my God, $20 a year to get access to everything. That would be insane. But yeah, the game's free. Yep, game's free. Ken's right. The game is free. And you can buy seasons. My issue though, and this is not an issue in APA. This is me. If I buy a game that I'm gonna, just I want to go all in on it. And but yeah, I mean, I think it's really, really cool. And it was especially nice during the. I don't even know if you're allowed to say the word yet. YouTube's algorithm gets weird. So during the health events of 2020, 2021. Imagine, right? That you couldn't get together to play D&D. You couldn't get together to play cards and dice, sports games with people, baseball, whatever. So yeah, I think that was good on their part. I just wish they would, wish John would follow through and make anything that's purchasable for this game available as a download. You can't. Computers aren't made with DVD drives anymore, so. John promised in April that within 2 weeks all that would be, and we're in September, so I think they reckon time differently down there in Alpharetta, Georgia. So yeah, just to be clear, the game APBA is free, and you just $2 a team, not bad. So kind of in keeping with what you expect. So if you wanted to do a Sweet 16 team, or you want to pick 16 teams, right? It's $32, so it's about a season price. So not bad. It's not bad. I think that'd be fun, cousin. We'll do it sometime, definitely. And I did not. Um, I think I did. No, I almost bought. I almost did the every season, and being able to do that, but. I'll sign up. I'll make an account. I'd love to play sometime. We can play offline. We don't have to be playing online or whatever. I'd love to, man. Be a great way to get back into the APA kind of jam, man. Because it's heavily, heavily, heavily more influenced. I think there's more of the cards and dice sense of that in APA. Yeah. You take your 1964 fills. All right. Infamous team, 1964. Maybe I should pick a similar Pirates team. There, Ken's putting down. Says anybody out in the chat, you want to join up for some APBA, man. There you go. A lot of fun. Good community building. Keeps the stats for your team. Yeah, that sounds good, Ken. So you've obviously been on it since I have. Have they added more ballparks, or is it still just Great American Park in Cincinnati? Nice park, but it'd be nice to see some other ballparks. But it's a good product. Definitely a good product. And if I had the smackers, I'd probably, just to be what the hell, $22 a month. But I'm already doing stuff like that with a lot of music applications and things. So it's those little bills that nickel and dime you to death. Huh. So you were last on in early 22. I wish I could convince APBA to add the event. I think they're going to. You'd have to go back to the Digital to Dice podcast, Samuel. And John Gerson talks a lot about kind of what they want to do. As Ken had already kind of told us, this is kind of, unfortunately, this is the ginger-headed stepchild. And yet, for many, myself included, this Baseball for Windows is fantastic. Just absolutely fantastic game. But, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? They're making everything around APBA go. That's where John said he's seeing everything moving. So, yeah, ask Out of the Park to. We had Michael Silva here the other night for a good old long chat, and Michael, he's the one responsible for the all-in-one stadium mod. I like to call it ballpark mod, but it's a stadium mod. Every ballpark from 1901 to the present, plus the uniform mod. And Michael has been a beta tester for Out of the Park Baseball, and we talked about the narrator part. And Michael was like, as every good beta tester should, he's saying, well, really, I don't know what they're gonna do. And I think, and way to go, Michael. That's it. You're a good beta tester. You don't want to rat. So we can see. I think if they do it, if Out of the Park does it, and still offer everything out of the box, they're gonna be the ones to beat as far as purely digital baseball. All right, guys. Again, I might grab something to eat and then come back and do either I'll do a game of something or let Ernie or Mel Allen or something call like a game of Tony La Russa 3 or 96 or old time baseball. I'm doing 1917 on that one, kind of a sort of 1917 sort of White Sox kind of replay, but whatever. So thank you to Samuel Smith, Cousin Ken Castro, Carlos Yaz, and Nathaniel Lentz, and Robert RJL Network. And Nathaniel Lentz, first one in the ballpark today, and he gets the MV bobblehead doll. That's our new offering now at the ballpark. All right. Yep, you guys have a great day. Thank you. See you around the batting cage.